I'm Ben Carson, and I'm a candidate for President of the United States.
For months, he's been shaking hands.
Hi, how are you?
Great meeting you.
And signing books, hoping for the big desk in the Oval Office, a world away from America's top surgery rooms and his hotshot career as a neurosurgeon. At 33, Ben Carson was named the youngest director of pediatric neurosurgery in the United States, most famous for separating the conjoined Binder twins and performing the first successful brain surgery on a baby in the womb. But 27-year-old Carly Bailey isn't impressed with Ben Carson's achievements. Instead, she claims the surgeon's hands have ruined her life forever.
The surgery that Dr. Carson performed left me with deficits, which have destroyed my dreams.
Her father feeling the pain of never being able to see his daughter live a normal life. Carly Bailey was a happy, energetic 7-year-old living near Tampa with her parents and little sister. But that changed when the family found out she had a brain tumor.
It was terrifying, and you don't expect something like that to happen.
Doctors operated and removed 97% of the tumor, inserting a shunt to drain fluid. By all accounts, the surgery was a success, and life for Carly returned to normal.
She excelled in horseback riding. 60 days after that operation, she came in #2 in the spelling bee in the 2nd grade.
But 2 years later, the tumor came back, and there was also a problem with her shunt. To fix it, they went to Johns Hopkins in Maryland, where Ben Carson made his name, performing thousands of successful brain surgeries.
Dr. Carson and I went over her case history and what a surgeon must agree to do to be allowed to perform the partial resection of her brainstem tumor.
John says he made it clear to Dr. Carson to not operate near her brainstem.
We left the meeting. He walked over to where Carly and her mother were sitting on the couch and said, "My goal is not to kill your kid. I will follow your surgical guidelines." Her mother was upset at his arrogance and attitude and did not want him to operate on Carly's brain tumor.
John talked his wife into letting Dr. Carson operate. But after the surgery, John says one of Dr. Carson's colleagues came out to talk to the family.
The assistant surgeon came out and said, "He got it all. I would have never gone that far." Right there, we were in shock.
The next time John saw his daughter and Dr. Carson, everything was radically different.
And when I saw Carly, Dr. Carson was at her bedside. I noticed her facial droop. And I said, "Dr. Carson, what about her facial droop?" And he said, "Oh, that's temporary."
I couldn't move my right side very well. I was so angry at the world. I did feel like my world had crumbled.
Carly left the hospital and spent the next 7 months, 5 days a week, in therapy. And it seemed to John that Dr. Carson had virtually disappeared. They never saw him again after that first bedside meeting. When Carly returned to school, the kids were cruel.
When I went back to school, I was called a freak. I was called a loser. Made me depressed. Just very depressed.
Years went by and adjusting her new life wasn't easy. In addition to the facial droop, Carly had to deal with migraines, memory issues, and nystagmus, which is like severe vertigo 24/7. Then at age 21, after years of suffering, Carly decided to take some action.
She ordered the surgical documents, and there was the answer in Dr. Carson's operative report. His operative report stated he attempted to remove all visible tumor from the floor of the fourth ventricle, which is the top of the brain stem. That was in complete violation and breach of his contract he established with Carly and her parents prior to surgery.
They filed a claim, and when Dr. Carson was deposed, Well, John says Dr. Carson's sworn statement was very different from his post-surgery statement.
Dr. Carson, in his sworn deposition, stated, number 10, I did not invade Miss Bailey's brainstem during the procedure.
Dr. Carson said that and went on to say, nor did I damage any cranial nerve. The comment in the report that an attempt was made to remove all visible tumor describes my efforts to remove as much of the tumor as was reasonably safe. Dr. Carson has been involved in some malpractice cases. Some were dismissed, some settled, some are pending. But most experts say that is typical in the field of neurosurgery. Dr. Ben Carson's medical license is in good standing, and he has never been under any criminal investigation for this surgery or any others. Crime Watch Daily reached out to Dr. Ben Carson for a statement, but Dr. Carson's campaign declined to comment, saying HIPAA laws prevented them from discussing the case. John says their lives have been turned upside down because of this. Carly, now 27, can't work, and the family home is in foreclosure.
She would rather have 7 cents and have her physical disabilities and neurological disabilities restored. It's not about the money. Dr. Carson raised $25 million last quarter as a presidential candidate. Why don't you just tell the truth and take care of the patient whose life you destroyed? That's what we ask of Dr. Carson. That's all.